Hey everyone, it's me EH-Sora here, and this is the part 2 of 5 of a very special video, so yeah, enjoy. Back from Christmas break and my second half of my second year in high school. So did I get the right idea to install Blackmagic's DaVinci Resolve on my poor MacBook Air, and well, it ran, to put it lightly. So I uploaded a short video of me playing Minecraft on March 3rd of 2017 as a test by editing in DaVinci Resolve, and I'm just amazed that everything worked at all. And then 3 days later, on March 6th, so did I upload a video of me trying to figure out how Krita worked, and I used again Blackmagic's DaVinci Resolve to get more used to it, and again it ran but not well due to only having these specs. So yeah, anyway, Item Escape. I will see if I can find the assignment notes for the project, but due to losing like 75% of my portfolio in 2018, so can't I promise a lot, but you will probably see now what I have. Anyway, so on March 27 of 2017, so did I upload Item Escape, and as an add-on to a school assignment that I had in high school. I don't exactly remember what it was about, and so yeah, sadly so don't I remember for what class Item Escape was for, but it was for one of my classes that are connected to game design that I was studying in high school for. I know why I can't find it due to things happening in 2018, and I will go better through in part 3. But anyway, I had by this point fully switched over to using my MacBook Air, Adobe Photoshop CS6 and Final Cut Pro as my main work machine. And then on April 22nd of 2017, so did I upload the Shoot the Aliens Down demo. This one. Just a short half-working game prototype that I actually made from scratch in Unity with no help, if I remember right. And I just called it Shoot the Aliens Down because you shot the aliens down. But I only managed to get out a short version that barely worked. Anyway, about the plot in the game, Shoot the Alien Down's plot was about that aliens was invading Earth to blow up the moon and then blame it on an alien called Bob. So you and Bob the alien, are tasked to fly around the levels, collecting pieces of the moon and defeat bosses and such. And Shoot the Aliens Down looked like a regular 2D side-scroller game at first, but it had a bit of a twist that I actually got inspired from a PSP game. It's this game, Crush, or whatever it's called. I played a lot on my modded PSP Go at the time. Anyway, it looked like a 2D side-scroller at first, but it was actually a 3D game with a 2D camera, and you will arrive to points in the level that the ship wouldn't be able to fit, but then you get a prompt to press a button to twist or rotate. So from being like, it was like 12 pixels high or something like that, to being 1 pixel high, so you could fit through. You would be able to rotate the entire level later in the game, like 360 degrees. And just to make it easy for myself to visualize everything, so did I more or less took like paper with squares and such. I have no clue what it's called in English, and a regular pen, and sketch out pixel by pixel how every level would look like this, if I can find a scanned version of part of level 1. And then when it come to the more complicated levels, so did I just use tape to make a box and easily see how everything would look like in a 3D space, because I was still learning Blender. Anyway, to this day I'm still reusing assets and concepts from Shoot the Aliens Down, because it's the game project I have most assets for, because it was somewhat easy for me to make, and then I didn't have to mess around with 2D assets because it was a 3D asset in Blender. And once again, I got the bright idea to push my poor MacBook Air even more by installing a program called Sculptris, and it was, well, very unstable and crashed a lot, like every 10 minutes. It was annoying like hell, but in the end it was very fun. So I uploaded that video on May 6th of 2017, a short video just me playing around in Sculptris. Then a very fun project I did with a classmate called Last Man Standing, and I had at that point in time got more or less addicted to Adobe Illustrator and made a vectorized version of a card so we could more easily scale up and scale down if needed. And on May 17th of 2017, so did I upload a speed painting of me making a vector version of a card. I will, as said, look for the assignment documents as such, but as said, I lost like 75% in 2018. And if I go by memory, so should it work like this? And if I remember right, that I mostly do. You had 3 types of card: a food card, medicine card, and weapon cards. And you have a game field and some dice and some papers to keep track on what's going on. And dice decided the effect of a card. Like if you had a food card and you roll a 1, like for example, if you had a food card and you roll a 1, so were the food safe to eat? Or if you rolled a 6 instead, so could it say, oh, this is not good. The food you found, you didn't notice in time, was damaged and gotten spoiled. You got very sick by eating it, and you lose this amount of points and such. And when you meet your opponent on the game and you had a weapon card, so could it backfire on you and explode and kill you instead? And if I remember right, so if you rolled 1, you need to roll like a 1 first if you want a clean shot. Then if you roll again, if you get the 1 again, if you roll 1, so could you shoot your opponent, like the gun wouldn't jam up. Then you need to roll again. If you roll a 1 again, you miss completely. If you roll a 2, you hit your opponent in the foot. If you roll a 3, you hit your opponent in the leg. If you roll a 4, you hit your opponent in the stomach. If you roll a 5, you hit your opponent in the chest. and if you roll a 6, you hit your opponent in, well, you did a headshot, and the goal was to be the last one. And the goal was to be the last one alive, hence where the name Last Man Standing. Well, if I remember everything right. Then I finished my second year of high school in June of 2017 and had to go on summer school because I chose to remove English because I had enough with passing Swedish and such, and English is much easier for me for some reason. Mostly fall on spelling errors and such, or misspelled words. As said, I'm more or less fluent in English, at least somewhat. So I had summer school for like a month or something like that, and I literally sat in the back of the classroom half asleep and watched anime on my MacBook Air. And I remember I was the only one that had a MacBook Air and not a Lenovo ThinkPad, and I literally was the only one that never opened the book to study or practice for tests, and I got like 85 and 95% right on the tests, only, as said, failing on misspelling words and such. The reason why I basically could sleep through summer school was because in game design it's like 95% in English, and we basically spoke English in class because it was easier to explain stuff in English than in Swedish, and trying to find a synonym for a word in English than in Swedish. So yeah, and due to me having dyslexia and struggle with Swedish during my entire school time, and still do, and as a result of not being fast enough reading these Swedish subtitles on TV or in a movie, so did I get stupidly fast reading English subtitles instead. And on June 8th of 2017, so did I upload some random gameplay of me and my best friends play Age of Empires 2 HD, and I think I did editing on the train from or back from or to summer school and uploaded it to the channel by using my phone as the Wi-Fi hotspot. At least I think that was the case. And when I was done with summer school, did I finally have some spring break, and I remember I dragged an old CRT computer screen with me, this one, when my mom and siblings were going to where my grandparents live on my mom's side. So I had 2 screens, as well my MacBook Air and my 2 laptop bags. And I remember I connected the shitty Acer Aspire laptop that I had to the CRT screen with a regular HDMI to VGA adapter, and started my insanity in Blender, and spent like 1000 plus hours and making the same model every day to train up my modeling speed and muscle memory. Like I literally set like 12 hours every day for 2 to 3 months and did the same model in Blender, and the result was that I got stupidly fast modeling in Blender, and still are in a way. So yeah, that was a fun time, and it was warm as hell that summer as well. And then in August of 2017, so did I start my 3rd year of high school, and I had a lot to handle for my 3rd year. In fact, I had so much that I had to stop using my high school's gym because I didn't have time for it, and that my high school had moved from the industry area where we had classrooms with a lot of natural light and high ceilings, and got to move to the other side of the city and merge with another school not related with my school at all, as well having our classes connected to what we are studying in a different building. So yeah, that was fun. Like this mess was a mess for half year, and some classrooms, like the recording station for school radio, wasn't even finished. So yeah, that was something. Anyway, I don't exactly remember when, but sometime during my first half of my third year in high school, so did my 2.5 year of saving money, so I could finally buy the final parts for my first desktop computer that I called Cerberus, or Cerberus 1.0, and I bought parts when I could and stored them in my wardrobe. And I remember when it was time to put everything together and I was about to install the RAM, and then the RAM stick didn't fit, and I realized that I accidentally had bought DDR3 RAM and not DDR4 RAM. So I had to pay from my own pocket to take the train to the city and then take the bus ride to the store and swap the DDR3 RAM to the right DDR4 RAM sticks, if I remember correctly. So when I got back from my 6-hour adventure, so could I finally install the RAM and finally turn on the power supply for the first time and press the power button on the case. And I realized that 2 of 4 USB ports worked. No front audio, but I was just happy it worked. But I managed to somehow pump out for 2017 8 videos, as I was handling school and building my first desktop computer, and happy with the channel's second year. And here's where I will end part 2 of a very special video, and I hope you all enjoy this video. And this is EH-Sora here, and I will see you all next time.